Bim, bim. Yeah. Drop it ancient future, the man them never gonna Grammy to the king. Can't feel no way though, music I play though, fry fish, bomb it to me thing. Man celebrate life, happy me living. Man elevate heights, gravity me sin. Man set a pace like race. When I fight for the first place prize, no pill for the work, man. Have to do the drill. Have the technique right, tapping at the skill. I mean I hear about Shella, man they are Coachella. Tell the little fellas if he bill. Tell a man, level to the thing like cow killer, tell a band, secondly redeem. Level! You know?
Watch out, boom shot. You tell him so there's a make the weight and murmur now. So this one is short shot. You can't stop. Boom shot!
Boom shots.
Yeah, so another very interesting line that I picked up on is if you don't own your masters, get off the slave ship. You know, you're using that as a metaphor for, I assume, the recordings that artists have of their masters.
Yeah. And I know the greatest thing about it, I can't even take credit for that line, because that line is Runkus. That's Runkus' idea. He was in studio with me when I was doing the song, and he co-wrote the song. I sent him my first verse. He was like messing around with the other verse. He's a brilliant artist, and we always talked about writing together and collaborating. Like he wanted me to write with him on his album when he's working, and it's like, yo, come through and help and like write with me. And I'm like, alright, do that, but I'm in studio tonight. I'm in studio working on royalty free. Like you come through and work with me first. And like he was like, cool. So he came up with that, and it was in reference to I guess 7 Year Itch, because he knows like lots of my situations, or you know, it's funny, like he'll study what I do in terms of my career path and what I've been through, as I did with who came before me. So like it was a reference to me not owning the masters for 7 Year Itch that he knew about. So he kind of said it. I was like, yo, you're crazy for that, you know. And then I just put it in and we did it. It was so fun. He was like, yo, you should put ad-libs in after the lines. I'm like, yo, you go around there and do it. So I sent him around, and he's making lots of noise in the choruses. I said noise because he's singing, but he's like, it sounds dubby and trippy. And he's doing the ad-libs, and he did them no flow like Black River. He's all over the track, you know what I mean? The only reason why I didn't put features is because I don't want to have a feature with Runkus without him having a verse, and he didn't have a verse for it. So my first feature with him is gonna be something way epic. So I be patient.
You know, is it much easier now in the music industry? You've done this for a minute. I mean, 7 Year Itch meant you did this for 7 years. Then you had the 8 year fair. You know, you've done this for a minute. Is it easier now to stand up and say, I need to own my masters? Because that is a big issue in the music industry, but is it changing?
It's not even an issue, no. I don't have to stand up and say anything. I just own it. I mean, I just don't go to a producer.
But you didn't when you did 7 Year Itch. You didn't own it. So
I didn't. No, it was a different situation. You know, so number one, I didn't have no money to go into studio and make records. I didn't have no studio to go to. I could not do it. You know, now when I can, from after I did 8 Year Fair, I was like, I'm never not owning my masters again, because the situation with 8 Year Fair didn't work out too good for me. Like, I didn't get to promote that record. I didn't get to push it. I had to shut off. Like, once 8 Year Affair was released, I had to shut off and move on. That's why you never saw another video. I have videos for Hail Rastafari. I have video for Come My Way. Like, I have videos for 8 Year Affair that just never came out.
Wow.
So I was like, I felt crippled. I felt like my hand was tied behind my back, and I was like, I'm never doing this again. So I took that whole year off to work on Ancient Future and to put myself in a position where I was broke. I didn't have $1 to my name after Ancient Future, because I put everything, all I had into it, me and Winter. But you know, we own our masters now, and I was like, yo, 50-50, you own half, I own half, I can live with that. And we did it, and then that's where it's at now.
Amazing. I mean, I didn't actually know that, but you know, you do hear of people saying, shit, we put everything into, but it sounds like that's what it takes.
That's what it took then, because at that point we didn't have anybody to back us and give us our advances and our capital. Now the situation is a bit different, where I can still get an advance but still own my masters. But then I couldn't get that situation, so we had to like break our bank. Me and Winter were literally had no money at all. Like I can remember me and him just hanging out together and being like, yo, we're broke. But we knew we didn't have money, but we had Ancient Future, and we knew that album would turn over for us.
Well done, and big up for sticking to that.
Of course.
Let's talk about reggae. I know we have less time, so I want to just really ask you your.
Rush, just do your thing.
Okay, well, talk about reggae and the genre at the moment. It seems like there's a reggae fever in the mainstream charts. What's your thoughts on that?
It's a Jamaican fever. Sometimes I don't know what reggae music is, or what people are calling reggae music, or like reggae music is a subset of Jamaican music, but I guess the most popular, so it has become what people call Jamaican music, eh? But for me, it's like Jamaican music or Jamaican flavor and culture has been in the pop mind frame in America, in all over for so long. But now, because you have an artist like Rihanna or Drake, who are at the top of their game, who have huge Caribbean influences, it's just getting more notice right now. But it's always been there. Drake's from Toronto. I used to live in Toronto. People don't get it when people say, oh, Drake is, he's all over the Jamaican culture stuff. If you've ever lived in Toronto, it's Toronto culture is part of West Indian culture. It's like you're here and you're hearing somebody like Skepta, people in Jamaica say, oh, he sounds like he's in Jamaican culture. I'm like, bro, if you've ever been to London, it's West Indian culture here. You can't own it. People move and migrate here. How is it not going to reflect? So it's just reflecting, and then Rihanna is obviously Caribbean, so it's reflecting. When the two biggest pop stars in the world are heavily influenced by Jamaican culture, then everybody's going to follow suit.
They are actually not known as dancehall artists, so like you said, they reach a different, audience altogether. So there's been lots of debates about whether that actually helps Jamaican music just because big pop stars sing about it. Do you think it is it helping Jamaican music?
I'd have to say so. Maybe not in a direct way, but for me, I'm definitely going to use that to my advantage, because now I am Jamaican. I am a person that's in a position, that's traveling, that's going all over the place, doing music, doing shows. So I'm going to find a way to make the world being interested more in Jamaican culture benefit what I'm doing and Jamaican music. I feel there could be more support. It's like to me, it took Chris Blackwell and Ireland to put money and funding behind Jamaican music for it to go mainstream. That's all we need now, is the funding and the backing. It's simple. Like I know, like for example, Warner licensed Who Knows remix with Shy FX, and the moment they did that and just pressed a button, Who Knows remix is on Radio 1, or is different opportunities are coming to me. I know what that button press. My friend who is friends with one of the guys from Magic were just in Canada doing their thing, and he came to him and said, they just got signed, and they pressed the button, and bam, Why You Wanna Be So Rude was global immediately. So it's like, for me, I would like to see more involvement from big labels or whatever to help to push Jamaican music. But personally, as an artist, I'm not looking to get signed. I'm happy being independent. I don't want no boss. I don't want nobody. If right now I want to go in my bed and lie down and don't do nothing for the rest of the day, I don't have no label head telling me shit. So like, for me, maybe 10 years ago when I was like, oh, maybe, like, no, it's no. But I do think it helps the culture. You look at somebody like Popcorn, the recognition he's been getting from the association, it helps the culture.
I mean, there are people who feel like, Jamaican culture has been getting or reggae is in the charts now, but a lot of it is also reggae that is done by non-Jamaicans.
Yeah.
You know, and you have the whole Cali Roots movement.
Yeah.
They're like rock stars. They play to hundreds and thousands of people, and they have a huge following, and that's something that not all Jamaicans are being part of.
Yeah, fair, but let's find a way. Like, I'm definitely gonna find a way. Like, one time I was at the lowest point of the festival sheet, then I moved up, then right now I'm on it. Like, I'm on it. I'm on those guys. Like I'm gonna find a way, and like other artists needs to find a way. Chronix is finding a way. Like, let's give us some time and let's see what infrastructure we build, so that when the artists that are coming up after us are gonna have a much better infrastructure to sit on, so that when an artist like Runkus 4 or 5 years from now, when he gets into his own, not to say that he won't do stuff before 4 or 5 years from now, but when he gets into his own as an artist, what platform will he have? Maybe it's different. So it's like, for me, it's like it's time, and let's be frank about it. Jamaican artists and Jamaican music industry has done a lot to shoot themselves in the foot and to take away opportunities from themselves. Like, I've had to break down, my generation has had to go back in and do a lot of rebuilding in just attitude and first time I was doing it, like I do an interview or whatever, and people are like, wow, you're here, you actually showed up, or whatever. Stuff like that has turned people against our industry because of unprofessionalism. At the same time too, not just to put the blame on us, a lot of time people don't want music and artists from Caribbean, from past colonial places to succeed. They just want it all to be for the big corporations and the Americans and stuff like that. So we have a lot of fight to do, but at the end of the day, nothing can stop you. There's no force in this earth that can stop what I'm trying to do. Nothing. Even in death, you couldn't stop what Bob Marley was gonna do. So you just have to find a way, I think.
Music lives forever,
Yeah.
and that's something that you can see.
There's certain things, like, for example, I was on tour with Revolution the other day.
Right.
Like, I opened for them on tour. We did like 12 shows, and I got to see what these guys are doing. I got to study what's happening. I got to see how the thing is set up. I had to make a huge financial sacrifice to do that. I lost thousands of dollars, US dollars, to do that tour because it wasn't financially viable to be an opener with a 10-piece band, traveling from Jamaica, getting a tour bus, doing all these things and not making anything really on the shows. Lots of artists won't do that, but I did that. Now there's lots of fans that have Revolution fans that are now part of my fans. So it's like there's sacrifices that you're gonna have to make to get where you want to go, and I'm willing to make it. So it's like, we'll see how it happens. Like 2020 hit me back up and see where we're at, you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, interesting you said, just picking up on the whole, the reggae industry has also shot itself in the foot. I mean, you feel your generation is rebuilding from stuff that you feel that past artists or past people that had advantages were not able to set up for you guys. What kind of specific things do you mean?
Well, let me add some clarity to that. First of all, I'm only able to travel to do music and to play reggae music because of the work that the past generations have done. Like, they have really set up the music to be global for us, for my generation, and even the one right before us. Like, I'm talking about, the 80s, the 70s and 80s reggae artists that did like so much work for us. So I'll never take away anything from those who came before us, because without that I'm nothing, you know what I mean? So just to be clear on that, what I'm saying is, though, there were a lot of individuals within that who I believe broke down the infrastructure of the music, and by explain?
Yeah.
Not showing up for shows, like going back on deals for shows, like going there and then demanding more stuff, You know what I mean? Dealing with getting in fights with promoters.
So just giving reggae a bad name.
Just an unruly name. You know what I mean? And it's like for me there was like stuff that had to be done to get back that to seem professional again,
Right.
to be professional. And I know that my generation is something that we've spoken about. That's what it has to be. We have to be very professional now.
Right.
You have to know that this is a business also, and you have guarantees when you sign contracts to honor them and stuff like that, so that it doesn't have that reputation.
It's really funny because, you know, people love reggae and dancehall sometimes for the unruliness, but it's like you're saying, it's like, but being unprofessional.
You can be unruly, but be professional at
on
the same time.
and
You know what I
do
mean?
what
Like,
you say you're gonna do.
you can be that. Dancehall and Jamaican music is built on that, right? Against the system, but don't fight yourself out.
Right.
Don't fight yourself out.
Yeah. Wow. You know, it's always great to reason with you. I can't wait to hear the A side of this new project.
We'll see what happens with the A side, because right now side B is going so good that I'm gonna let side B breathe for a little bit for sure.
Rock and roll.
I'm gonna let it breathe for a little bit and then see what happens next, you know.
Sure thing.
Drop a 7 year itch and me know even heavy near this. Make the devil ears cheap, can't box I in no one a heavyweight this. Me tell the place this, if you can't own your masters, left the slave ship. Remember the first time me left me spaceship. Now what the issue, them soft like tissue, that's why they make the same shit. So me set the pace quick and make the place live like 20 facelift.